Ranking Member Raskin.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Regan, let me just follow up on that, because I do think that there's a significant philosophical difference that was just surfaced in the colloquy between Mr. Palmer and yourself. There's no doubt that there's industry that wants more of a freedom to pollute without having environmental rules imposed against them. But your purpose is to defend the freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water and have a safe working place. And I wonder if you would describe what the mission of the EPA is.
Well, the mission of the EPA is to protect public health and the environment, look at cost-effective technologies to do so, and ensure that this country can remain globally competitive. And I do that in concert with state regulators in blue and red states, but also actively engaging industry to come up with the right solutions.
And that's a mission that has been, for a lot of American history, a bipartisan one. It was under President Nixon that the EPA was first created, right?
Correct.
And so there's nothing that should be partisan about the pursuit of clean air, clean water, clean working conditions. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay. I wonder, what is your perspective on what would happen if the proposals in the Project 2025 blueprint for a mega takeover of government were implemented? What would happen if all of the rules that they want to repeal at the EPA were repealed?
Well, listen, I think when you look at the massive cuts that are being suggested, we won't get new pesticides, new registrants on the market. We will significantly hurt our agriculture industry, reducing the herbicides that we can get on the market. We won't clear all of the litigation that's tied our hands to get chemicals on the market that we rely on every day. Listen, we would have significant impacts to our water quality. Emerging contaminants like PFAS would run amok. We would continue to have lead-poisoned water all across the country. We would not be able to look at how to clean up brownfield sites and benefit not just from a health standpoint, but from the economic vitality and opportunity of cleaning up these blighted sites. The list just goes on and on. America needs a strong EPA.
I remember when Donald Trump took out his Sharpie and purported to change the direction of a hurricane. I think it was Hurricane Dorian back in 2019. But he basically said it was not going to hit the Florida coast, it was going to hit Alabama. And he did this without any consultation with the National Weather Service, or NOAA, where the National Weather Service is located. And then it created huge confusion and consternation. I mean, what would happen if we replaced professional, scientific, civil service management of agencies like the Weather Service or NOAA or the EPA with political flunkies, basically, people who are just willing to say whatever the president wants to say? What would that do to our ability to have effective public policy if science is something that could just be made up by a president?
If we don't follow the science and have qualified people in these positions, Americans will die. We have a role to play, and we need to be able to predict the weather. We need to be able to respond to the weather. We need to be able to alert the public that if danger is coming their way. And once many of these communities are hit, whether it's a wildfire or a flood or a hurricane, we need to be able to go in and be activated to help bring those communities back to life, whether it's Maui, Hawaii, or whether it's East Palestine, Ohio, or Jackson, Mississippi. When a city is hit, we need experts to come in and ensure that there's clean air and clean water.
So how have you regarded the war on science and the war on public health that we saw during COVID-19? We saw in this committee when Dr. Fauci came the other day, we had members of this committee accusing Dr. Fauci of having created COVID-19 and profiting from it. How do you experience that attack on science in terms of your ability to get your work done?
Well, you know, it's threatening reality and the facts. And what we've done under this administration is restore scientific integrity. which, by the way, industry, businesses, all of our economic partners applaud us for doing this. We're saving lives, and we're putting pragmatic, practical regulations in place so that we can provide many of our industries regulatory certainty. They need to have regulatory certainty so that they can make the proper investments.
So would you say that the success of the EPA depends on the integrity of the science that goes into it, and you are threatened by the political science of the MAGA people who say, we want to dictate a political agenda to people who work for EPA or the Weather Service or NOAA?
Politics of no party has any role in scientific integrity. And if we don't remain in a place where we're transparent and bolstering our scientific integrity, we will lose the trust of the public. Scientific integrity is at the core of EPA's mission to protect all people.
Thank you very much for your hard work, and Mr. Chairman, I yield back to you.
All right.